co-host Maureen,
Nylene.
and we're at ViVE 2026. We've got Michael Dalton of Ovation. He's joining us here in the podcast. How's your show been thus far?
Been good. Just started out, but it's there's been some really, I think, compelling sessions that I've seen even thus far. So it's been good.
Been good? Where you coming in from?
Columbus, Ohio.
So
Well, actually, I mean, I was first in San Francisco
okay.
for their first inaugural consumer health conference. So it's pretty exciting. So it was there Saturday, then flew down here on Sunday, but came from Columbus.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, Michael, tell me a little bit about what Ovation does.
Sure. So we're the only virtual care company, virtual care startup really that's provides a comprehensive care offering that's built on Epic. So
Okay.
our focus is how do we work with health systems to really bring what I like to call a virtual patient-centered medical home. Keeps those patients connected, but starts out that's virtual first, not virtual only for those patients. So we really tried to redesign how patients engage with their traditional health systems, but still keep them connected.
Yeah, I think that's so critical because the patients really want to be at home.
Yeah.
That's the key. We always want to return our patients back there.
Yep.
It's almost a shame that we ever have to take them out of that
Yeah.
environment and treat them. And so what you're doing, just lovely.
Yeah.
Tell me how you came up with this idea.
Well, for me, I used to run a virtual care department within a health system, the Metro Health System in Cleveland. And we were always working with contractors or vendors who wanted to be able to figure out how to integrate into Epic.
Okay.
And so I thought instead, how could we build a care model that was built on Epic? And that's something that really builds trust for care teams that are at our customers, for those providers. And we've recruited a phenomenal team that they love to be on Epic, but typically that means they have to work in a health system. Well, here they can provide really high quality care, still stay connected to a health system, but also still work in an innovative space that they're creating an entirely different care model. So that's been really, I think, exciting for them. But also what's truly unique for us that's you don't see a lot is we provide an integrated care model. So that patient that might be coming in for an urgent care visit, a primary care visit, in real time, if they have a behavioral health need, we hand them off to one of our behavioral health providers. So we're really taking a whole person approach.
Wow.
So thinking about that, like that's hard enough to do in person when you're in a clinic. Sometimes it's actually easier to do virtually. And so that's something that I think really differentiates what we do.
Are you seeing a lot of your patients really word of mouth going, "Hey, I'm doing this. This is the results are in. I'm successful in my healthcare plan by using Ovation."
Yes, and
Okay.
what's been really awesome is that we break down every single type of payer, and even for our customers, we're health systems. Their employees are typically number one or two users of the service, and we did not promote it or added that, advertise that in that way. And then also one thing that's unique, and why we kind of built our model this way is all of our providers are credentialed at our health systems. What that means is they're part of the health plan. So that patient that comes in, some of them don't have insurance. Great. We actually provide cash options, so a more direct to consumer approach.
Okay.
At the same time, for those who do have insurance, we're able to route the payments to their health system, that customer, and it feels no different. And I think that really allows them to stay connected to the health system, the care model that they've now trust. But it's employees, Medicaid, self-pay. Self-pay has gone up considerably, especially with care coverage being lost or with the exchanges and what's been happening there.
Right.
And then we have some really large commercial payers, but it's a really broad use of the services across payers.
Wow, I love that. You're really meeting the patient where they're
We are.
at.
Absolutely.
Instead of, I think healthcare is traditionally taken the opposite approach. It's you come to us,
Yes.
and then we'll tell you how to interact
Yes.
with us.
Yeah.
But you've spun that around. And so what's that reception been like?
Well, I think it's reflected in our Net Promoter Score. So our Net
There we
Promoter
go.
Score is well over a 72.
Oh.
And if you break it out by our primary care, it's over 80.
Okay.
Urgent care, sometimes, people are coming in and they're sick, they're not feeling well, they just want their antibiotic, but that's not always the best care. So I always tell our team members, we'll take the hits, we'll take
Right.
that feedback,
Right.
but ultimately for those who are looking to establish that relationship, they absolutely love it. And they really, one of the things that why I kind of created the care model and created the company was so that our patients, many of them they've lost trust with the health system. here they're now meeting, and that video visit becomes something that's, I call it kind of the great equalizer, because it's just you and your provider sitting across, that screen, building that relationship. And we see higher levels of engagement. It's just been a really phenomenal, I think, care model. And like I said, we see patients that are coming back multiple times, even for that primary care. I'd say even 6 months in, they're having repeat visits. They're coming often because it's easier for them to engage in their health as well.
100%.
Absolutely.
Maureen, how did I start my day today?
Yeah, with a video visit,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what he did, but he managed to do something to his eye, and for you to be able to have that access
And
while we're here, your life doesn't stop,
Amazing.
right?
Well, I'll tell you, if I may, I'll tell you an awesome story.
Yes,
we
please.
were working with one of our health system customers, and he was in the IS department, and his team was helping us build out Ovation. And he went to what he calls a doc in the box urgent care. He had an issue with his eye.
Okay.
He went there, he felt it got misdiagnosed. He talked to his CMIO. CMIO says, you need to be seen right away. This is not pink eye. You have cellulitis. And you need to be seen immediately. Came in, had an Ovation visit. We were able to get that patient then, get his prescription, get a follow-up with an ophthalmologist at the health system the next day. So we were able to message
Wow.
in real time with the ophthalmology clinic.
I love
It's
that.
because we're built on Epic, have that direct messaging capabilities, could share all that information in real time and say, I need this patient to be seen. He came up to me later at another conference. He said, Michael, I really hadn't had any experience with virtual care. This wasn't just the best virtual visit. This was the best visit I've ever had, the best experience I've had.
Right.
So, and that's really what I think is, we had to build this outside of that traditional model to make sure that patients could really benefit from this. Because I think you talked about it. Sometimes too often the incentives are aligned
Right.
to do what we've always done. And that is not what virtual first care is. It's really starting where the patient is, not where the buildings are. And I think that's what's really, really, really important.
And I like how you gave that. Now we've got a description. Virtual first.
It's virtual
Yes.
first.
Virtual first is why not, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the point though, is so for so many patients, they have that anxiety.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't know what the first thing to do. And but starting a video visit, that's something that they can take action on. And then we guide them if they need to be seen in person. Okay, great.
Yeah.
If I can continue to be seen virtually, awesome.
All right.
Right.
But the whole point is you start that journey and you get to determine then in partnership with your provider. If that provider says, I need you to go be seen in person. That's building trust. You're reaffirming and confirming that.
Right.
But also if you really like virtual, then guess what? That's how you're going to be able to be seen. Absolutely.
100%.
Okay, so now I've got to ask,
Yeah.
how do the providers like it?
So they absolutely love it. And I will say there's a couple things. So it's been a great recruitment tool. A lot of our providers have been engaged in working in health systems for a long time. But I would say 90% of them, they're working moms. And it's really hard for them to find a balance of and I hate that's still the way that kind of the business model are working in society, how it's set up. But for them,
But it acknowledges again where they're at.
That is-
You're
that-
meeting
that-
the
that's
patient
why I
where
say-
they're at.
correct.
You're meeting, those working families
Yeah.
where they're at. Yeah, keep going.
I have a provider who was really important for her was at 4:15 to be able to step off the bus or to have her son step off the bus and for her to be able to be there. She would have never been able to do that.
Right.
And so for her, that really builds loyalty. She's never, she says this, I've never felt closer to a team. And I never thought I'd be able to do that in a virtual environment and being able to have that level of connection, build that level of friendship. And sometimes it's just because they're in a Teams chat or they're in Epic Secure Chat and they're messaging back and forth all the time with one another around that patient and what the patient needs. So we've really been able to keep even when we look at our turnover rate for a startup, we're less than 10%, which I think is really good.
It's really good.
And for some of our team members, they oftentimes will say, you know what, I do miss having that in person or being in the clinic. That's fine. That's great. But I'd say for the majority of our team members, they absolutely love being able to work remotely, work virtually. And so it kind of creates this opportunity as well. We create we will recruit and retain amazing talent across the country.
100%.
And then we get to bring that talent to that locality. For South Carolina, for Medical University of South Carolina, they were trying to recruit close to 110 primary care providers. That's a lot of people to go through an interview,
Be on the
attract,
ground.
retain. Yes. And so for us, we were able to bring our primary care practice with 12 primary care providers and bring that to bear and do that within really, 4 months.
And probably actually see more patients
Yes.
than they would ever see.
That's a great point.
Yes. And I think too, the great thing is when you open that provider directory, you open those templates and you're able to see those like the patient, it's irrespective of where. Hey, I just opened a new clinic and it's in, this, town or community. I have a region and I have a clinic for entire state. And that's what I think is a real differentiator.
I love the fact, though, that Mike, with this, you're solving a problem you didn't necessarily intend to solve for.
Right.
It's almost a byproduct of what you have done because we've got these amazing, it's not amazing, but they're tough workforce challenges
Yes,
that we're
absolutely.
facing. And
Absolutely.
this is indirectly helping to complement that and overcome it.
Yeah.
Well, how many areas are you actually hitting? You're hitting resource availability. You're hitting availability for the patient who's actually needing care anywhere in the world,
Yes.
right? So I got a resource that can facilitate that. Now I've got not only the resource facilitating it, I've got a work-life balance issue I'm also hitting,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And so you're hitting so many areas just with this business model.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes for euphoria for one to go to work there,
Yeah.
and for patients to engage with it. And so providers should be like,
Right.
this is a no-brainer. I mean, for me, I'm from Georgia. I'm
Yep.
facilitated in California today,
Yeah.
walking through this building
Yeah.
with my provider on my phone.
Yeah.
They met, the script is being ported out here to a pharmacy for my aunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is easy to solve for, to see how you would use this first.
Yeah.
Virtual first.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I love this. What's next for you guys?
It's continuing to scale within our customers into new geographies that they have, as well as we just hired. I largely been leading sales along with my director of branding and growth, but we're bringing on a full-time sales leader. So, and we want to do this in the right way. And so for me, I often use this analogy of I'd rather be in 5 states serving 500,000 patients than 50 states, because for us, we want to be virtual first, local always, never virtual only. So for us, when that patient comes in, and that's something not to overlook, they have social determinants of health, social drivers of health. If we're going to solve their needs and we're going to maintain and keep that trust for them, we need to know the resources in their community. And so I think it's not just something that's artificial. Our providers, even though they might be, down in Georgia, they might be providing for care for a patient in Ohio. And so understanding the resources that are available to that patient is really, really important. So our goal over the next year, really find probably 3 partners that we can build out this care model. We're seeing about 60,000 patients a year right now. And the goal would be able to double that and just have steady growth, continue to build additional services. As well, we're looking at half of our patients come in for weight management. We haven't advertised that.
Right.
So we really, and I've been hearing this research come out of late that's talking about within 3 years, 11 out of 12 patients that have been on a GLP-1 will not be on a GLP-1. And so it's really, really important that when they start that weight loss journey, it's a primary care journey. We're talking to them about lifestyle change, using that behavioral health provider to support the patient along that journey. And then also understand what some of those lifestyle changes can look like. Maybe it'll be bariatric surgery. Maybe there's a different solution. And so that's one of the things. So weight management as well as sleep. Those are areas I call them kind of like, primary care adjacent. Those are areas that we're focused on.
Very nice. Very nice.
I love it.
Tell our audience how they can find you, because I think that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are, you can go to www.ovation.com. We're incredibly active on LinkedIn as well. You can find out more information there as well. We have our own digital experience platform that we didn't get to talk about, but it's called My Care Anywhere. You can check that out as well, mycareanywhere.org. And then if you're in South Carolina or Ohio, I encourage you, our partner in Ohio is Metro Health System in Cleveland, and then the Medical University of South Carolina, Ohio. You go to their provider directory, you look for virtual care, virtual primary care, you're going to find us.
I
That's
love it.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Great business model, great offering to your community. I mean, this is
Thank
a
you.
beautiful business you put together. And again, I took advantage of ours this morning. So I know it works.
Yeah.
And I believe it's something that's going to take off. We saw what happened during COVID, right? It was a
Yes.
spike, right?
Yes.
We just talked to an author of a book 2 weeks ago who wrote about telehealth and how that spike happened out of need.
Yes.
And I think the need it's going to come back. There's another wave coming once people realize how many primary care physicians are not available
Yeah.
when you want them.
That's right.
I think, if I may, I think the opportunity here, and we just saw some research come out from Epic last week that starts to talk about how telehealth has leveled off. And I think if we unpack that a little bit, I think though it's also because the incentive has been providers get paid more, health systems get paid more if they're seen in person.
Right.
We didn't really, it was out of necessity. It's not necessarily out of training or then honoring patient preference or dispelling a rumor that, oh, I can have a continuous relationship that's primary or virtual first, in that virtual care model. I really, really think that I do see that, I think that we're going to continue to grow. I think employers I saw within their product offering, 40% of them are offering a virtual primary care model.
Okay.
I would contend that not any of them is as connected as we are because we're built on Epic and have that ability to share information. So I do think that we're at a plateau and we're going to see this continue to increase.
Well, I
Wow,
think we'll
that's
continue to see it increase. And we thank you, Michael,
Yeah.
Thank you
for joining
Thank you
us on
very
the
much.
show today. This has been a pleasure to have you on. And again, we hope to see you. You're down on the floor here at ViVE
Yes.
2026.
Yes.
So, Ovation, if you're here on the floor and you're watching our channel today, this is live to you, live from ViVE. And we want to make sure you go find Ovation and Michael Dalton and his crew down there. They're doing great things in telehealth. And we think that you're going to find that you also need this service in your area. Reach out to them, find them and their services where you live. And until we see you again on the floor, you have
Yes.
a great business.
Thank you
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Yeah,
Really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
appreciate it so
Thank
much,
you,
Michael.
guys.
All right. Well, we're here in the show today, actually bringing these types of companies to you. Michael's going to be down on the floor talking to folks that are looking for these types of solutions to their businesses, to their hospitals, to. Maureen and I are going to be bringing more to you. Up next on the show is Stephanie Lahr from You Perform. She's going to be joining us to talk about what she's doing over there. She's a longtime friend of ours.
Yes. Oh, it's always so good just to see familiar faces and meet new
Yes.
ones. And that's what it's really all about.
All
What?
right. Michael, we're going to let Stephanie
Yeah.
come on in.
All right, sounds great.
But we'll see
Yeah.
you again
All right.
soon.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate it.
So yes, next to the set is Stephanie Lahr. She's been joining us.
You know what?
What's up?
You have some fun with Stephanie. I'm going to go steal a mic.
Oh well, I'll you still like.
Hi, Brent.
This has been a wonderful week for you, haven't it? You're out here in LA. I mean, it's good to get out there.
Yeah, I want chickens, it's LA, it's time to get flashy.
This is the glamorous part of television.
So yes, so what you been up to lately? Talk to us. What you been doing lately?
Well, yes, you mentioned doing work with You Perform, and it's been a super fun ride. I made the transition over the summer to start my own company.
Yes.
And started
great.
doing, yes, fractional executive work and strategic
Yeah.
advising for a number of companies. And actually, I'd been doing some advising already for You Perform, and the CEO came to me and was like, we think it's time for us to get a chief medical officer. And
All right.
I was like, I think that we could maybe make that work. So it's really fun because they are such a great group that I have known. I was a customer. I brought them into my team when I was at Monument as the CIO.
All right.
And we leveraged that technology to really transform what we were doing with training.
Yeah.
And then I stayed an advisor with them, even in my time at Artisite. So I'd been close to them. So now to really get to be a part of the team is really, really fun, especially at a time when I think we're seeing what the difference between supporting training and adoption can really do versus not do. Super exciting news. Class for the first time has an award segment around training and education platforms.
Very nice.
And You Perform was the now first winner of the Best in Class award for that.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Awesome.
super exciting.
That's awesome.
But what's I think more exciting to us as a team about it is that it's risen to the level, the concept that training, education, then driving into change management and adoption is something important enough that we need to be highlighting it as its own thing.
Yeah.
Right? Because organizations are spending huge amounts of money on all kinds of tech. It's such an exciting time because the tech is not the problem anymore.
Right.
Right. I mean, we've all been in this long enough that there were times where we were like, sorry, everybody, the tech's not amazing, but we're going to do our best to work around it.
Yeah.
That's not where we are anymore.
Right.
The tech is amazing, but we're throwing it at people so quickly. There's so much of it. They don't know how to make it work, when to make it work. So supporting people through that adoption and enablement process is really going to help organizations see the ROI that they are all planning to get out of these, investments.
Stephanie, what does that look like when you come in for an organization? What's that process?
Yeah, so for some organizations, they'll be maybe making the transition with a go live, and so they're like, hey, we're going to be doing this transformational work anyway. Let's think about redoing our training, and then we'll come in and sort of help from the
Makes
very
sense.
beginning.
Yes.
But I would say more and more what we're seeing is, onboarding training is an ongoing job. Right? It's not just at a go live. You have new nurses, new doctors, new revenue cycle people. Like, there's always a need for people to be trained that are new to your organization. And then, like I say, we have all this new technology that's coming in, right? So you're bringing in an ambient documentation tool to layer on top of your EHR, or you're bringing in a new module in your EHR. And so where we sit is in workflow, in the process, being able to support snippets of education, training, whether it's videos or, quick little downloads, to be able to figure out what it is I need to do right now to get this work done, right? And so it's how do you build that combination of tools that can support, it's onboarding, great, yes, let's put all these pieces together. Now you know how to use the system, but then 2 weeks later when you're like, I'm pretty sure we covered that, but I don't really remember. Now in workflow, a quick way to be able to get to that and say, just show me exactly what I need right in this moment to make me feel supported and educated so that I can use the system effectively, deliver patient care, or, because we obviously support the non-clinician side of the team.
Right.
What are your top three training areas that you perform just excels at? Where do you excel?
Yeah, I think it's really in workflow support.
Okay.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, and what we're even starting to do now is bring in thinking beyond, the EHR itself has technical, where's the button? How do I maneuver through this? But there's a lot that's going on right now around the why, and the how. And so we're trying to bring all of that together. Like, yes, these are the boxes, but also helping people understand, like, why did we change this workflow?
Right.
Why did we add this new functionality?
Right.
And what value does it bring? So, we see the exciting stuff is always what you see customers accomplish with it. We had a customer that had a process that was new to them, struggling with adoption. They had sent out all the training, they had sent out all the emails.
Yeah.
Weirdly, didn't work. People didn't read the emails. People didn't. I know.
Not surprised, though, Stephanie. I've seen this happen.
I know.
Yes, and you're like, and you read your email. I mean,
come on,
clearly we did.
Send me the email.
You've been getting these. We've been sending them a long time. They're like, yes, and I've been not reading them.
Yeah, for a really long time. What is email anyway? Whoever checks that? Yes.
So junk folder.
Especially on the clinical side, right? I mean, at least on the administrative side, you might have a fighting chance of getting to your email. Clinical side, no.
Yeah.
And so they built it right in. So right inside of their EHR workflow was a button of basically like, I don't know how to do this or why I'm doing it. Click here. And then in 30, 40 seconds, they could figure that out. And then they saw adoption go from 17% to 80-some%.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Wow.
And then as the users got more adept, they were like, okay, well, now the questions aren't this anymore. They're a little deeper. And so then the team at that organization retooled that training to then fit into another part of the workflow so that you could, level it up, right? Because it's this constant, how do we juxtapose evolving technology with making people use it the best way they possibly can. And you got to start with some of the basics, but then as they get better at what they're doing, then you can level that up as well.
Well, and I love that you are building on that level of sophistication. I would imagine that the struggle always was, at least in my experience, somebody wouldn't have the why connection. They would have the how they would do it. They didn't understand the why. They may not like that. As you are moving through and you're building on that sophistication of the workflow,
Yeah.
are you getting feedback from the users of, oh, wow, now this really makes sense? Or, gosh, Stephanie, it never works like this in real life. Have you considered this? Any conversations like that?
So, you know, and that's each organization and their training team has the ability to tailor this exactly for them, because the how
Nice,
is something
nice.
that is, you know, relatively reproducible one organization to the next. The buttons are mostly the same, that
Right.
kind of, but the why or some of the nuances are individualized to
Right.
the organization. So every organization has the ability to tailor that for themselves. And then we have feedback buttons built in,
Okay.
right? So even like the thumbs up, thumbs down, and that get you what you need, or
Okay.
honestly,
I
you know,
like
this
that.
is, you know, if you would spend the time on this, or this isn't super clear, so that those training teams can get that feedback and say, oh, okay, well, we could make a change to that, because they build out the, you know, they build out the support
How long does
themselves.
it take to change
Yeah.
that wireframe out if I have a
It's super quick for them to be able
Really?
to do that. And yeah, and I think that's also where we're going to start to see, from our perspective, some of the AI tools come into place, is allowing those teams to, you know, that work to get less manual, more automated, and being able to give quick direction, right? Because software development is a
Right.
huge spot where we can see AI being leveraged.
Mhm.
And so for us, both as we build out our new software, but also as we put it in the hands of our customers who are adapting it, then it allows them to be
Are
faster
they
as well.
taking hold of it pretty
Oh
quickly?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I can imagine that you're making it intuitive for them to use, right? This is a
Yeah.
training tool, right?
Yeah.
So
And the other thing is, you know, trainers want to build good content, but at the end of the day, that's not why they became trainers.
No.
Like, they want to be interacting with people. They
Right.
want to be at the elbow, supporting people and helping an organization move forward toward the mission.
Right.
And so if we can help the tool be a great tool, but help them build it out quickly, that's the perfect thing. Because again, they're not really excited about sitting there and building out the wireframes to make the
Right.
video or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
But once that's done, and then you can get to it whenever you need it, we can get them out of the classroom, we can get them at the elbow. And it's, again, for me, when I was at Monument, we leveraged the tool to really transform the way our training team worked.
Right. I mean, I think that that's beautiful that you're using this automation to be responsive,
Yeah.
to be a cutting edge of how you're going to deliver this back to your clients, right? But the teams, they're learning how to use these tools to rapidly innovate training.
Yeah.
And that's what you think about, what's AI supposed to do? It's supposed to iterate faster. It's supposed to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And training, why not? You get people trained faster, they're more productive, now they're functioning, and you get the people that are behind the scenes like, oh, guess what we can do today? We can change what this looks like and give you a better experience.
Yes.
Because training is about an experience.
Yeah. Well, and the use of our systems is about an experience, right? People spend more time in the EHR and the other systems than they spend almost with anything else. And so making that experience feel comfortable, feel, you know, I mean, clinicians, people don't get nervous about delivering patient care, but they do get nervous when they feel like the technology might be not supporting them in the way that's needed, or that they feel ill-equipped
Oh,
to use
definitely.
it, right?
Definitely.
And so how do we make them feel equipped?
Mhm.
How do we make them feel like they understand the why?
Yeah.
And do it in a way that isn't about death by a million emails.
Right.
You can't have a town hall for every single change you're going to make.
Right.
Right. So how do we give it out in small bites, deliver it through a change comms methodology that
Right.
can be built right into workflow, tailored for you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I really respect this, because this isn't going to paint me in a good light, but it is who I am. I always say I work in tech and I have no business touching technology. Last night, Mike and I had dinner and I went to pay, and I said, oh, I didn't bring my wallet.
Oh,
It's like, don't you have Apple Pay? And you can just touch it. And I said, maybe, I don't know. I've never set that up
This is a little
before.
moment for the buzz. I want you to know. This is
Yeah.
something-
I mean, Mike, honestly, I think you were probably just supposed to pay. You weren't picking up what she was laying down, but okay.
Yeah. But irregardless, we'll go back to the point of he helped me through that, trained me on how to use it.
Yeah.
But in the moment, though, Stephanie, those small things can take you from feeling like you are an intelligent and competent individual to
100%.
feeling like you don't have a
Super
clue about.
anxious.
Yes.
Yes.
And that translates to the care that you provide your
Yeah.
patient. And so being able to get past that
Yeah.
barrier and be in the moment is just
Yeah.
so nice.
And that is a super great, very concrete example. We all have been that person that for the very first time you're using something, even if
Yeah.
it is literally at a grocery store, at a restaurant, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, well, we only accept whatever. And you're like,
Ugh.
okay, does it go here or
Yeah.
here? I'm feeling
Yes.
awkward. They're like, you don't tap it there. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yes.
It goes
Yes.
here.
There are
And
50
you're like,
people in line
oh, I
behind you.
mean, of course, I knew
Yeah.
that. I totally knew that.
Yeah.
And so those little pieces, like they keep you from doing what you're really trying to do.
Right.
In some cases, if it's just shop or pay your bill, you'll get through it.
Yeah.
But if it's trying to take care of a patient,
Yeah.
it
Right.
gets in your head.
It does.
And we want to eliminate that and
Yeah.
allow people to feel confident about the tools that they're using and deliver the best care. they
That's
can.
awesome.
That is a great story.
Yeah, it is a great story.
And she had to pay last night because she needed a learning lesson. So she learned something about her phone and her.
I am feeling very proud of myself. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. I'm like,
Next-
wait till I show my
explain it the next
husband.
time.
Wait till I
She's
show
like,
him.
I'll pay from now on.
She's like, oh, I got this from my phone. Watch me.
Yeah.
It was a great moment.
To be fair, Jason does not need me to figure out one more way to pay for something. Yeah.
Yes, we've
Yeah.
shopped together before. I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
It's that. But it's wonderful to see that, again, technology is advancing across the spectrum of healthcare, even in
Yeah.
training, right?
Yes, exactly.
And you perform giving these tools, these experiences to organizations that need this training on demand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the people that need to not feel like, oh my gosh, not something else.
exactly.
Yes.
That pressure of they're moving my cheese again.
Yes.
They bought something else.
Yes. Change overload.
Yeah.
Change overload.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does you perform help with change management?
So we have a whole part of our platform that is about change communication and being able to, again, never send another email, being able to in real time let you know that there's something different for you, your workflow, getting that information out there, backing it up with then potentially training materials, but also being able to just get the why.
Huh?
And that it's a huge part of being able to get people from where they were starting to where we really want them to be able to go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nicely
I
done.
love.
Yeah, we have one of the tools that we have is called Copilot. Before it became so widely recognized by another very large company.
Uh-huh.
But it's like, it's a great word. And I think that's why it ended up happening, because it's that, how do I need something right now
Right.
at my side in
Yes.
the workflow.
Right.
And sometimes that's for, just so you know, this system is going to be unavailable later today.
Yeah.
Or just so you know, this change is going to be happening. Great. I can get that while I'm, in the middle of workflow, but also then on demand when I'm like, what? Somebody mentioned something about this,
Uh-huh.
or I don't really understand this. Then you go and look it up, and here's all your results, right? And it's like a real-time Copilot tool to be able to say, you're looking for this, here's all the stuff that we found. Here's a brief summary, right? Just like you would do with any of your other LLM engines.
Mhm.
Here's a brief summary of what we think you're asking about.
Uh-huh.
And if you want to click into the actual training, here, go ahead and click here, right? So how do we just those are just the little pieces, keep iterating, keep building on things like that. Everything from the training to the change management.
That's
Nice.
right.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, how do people find out more about you perform, Stephanie?
Well, you can find me
Okay.
here at ViVE all week.
That's it.
Do you have a
We
booth?
Yes, we have more like, actually we're doing the Payer Provider Connect kiosk.
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
Stuff.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah. The team is here. We're also obviously have a website on
Yes.
LinkedIn.
Yes.
All of those things.
Perform.com?
So youperform.com.
Very
Easy
nice.
peasy.
So good to always see you moving
Yeah.
and shaking.
Good to see you guys
We
too.
can see you all week this week. So
Yes.
I know.
I hope this is, one of many of our interactions with each other.
Oh, I'm sure it will
Both
be.
on and off camera.
Of
Yeah.
course, of course. Stephanie Law joining us from You Perform on the Buzz Show today. Again, more coming from the content of the floor. That content down there it's going to take over what we're doing in healthcare, because there's some great providers of technology. You Perform is one of those. Make sure you go down and find Stephanie or find her booth at the kiosk area. I think it's called
Payer provider.
Payer
Provider.
provider
Yeah.
kiosk. So go find her down there. We're going to be down on the floor, probably shooting some folks later, so we may see Stephanie again. But if you're here at ViVE 2026, you can find us or find some of these providers of technology that are down on the floor today. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good to see
I
you
know,
guys.
I know. We're gonna have so much fun this
Yes,
week.
I know. Can Sam-
Somebody else come to the show.
Okay, have to run off camera to get it.
There we go.
No, but you know what? It was like all the joy of actual television. Yes, totally unfiltered. Totally unfiltered. Yeah.
That is awesome. So thank you everybody for joining us on the show today. Next to the show is Clay Ritchie from Verado. I was actually with Clay yesterday in a couple of our breakout sessions for over at Chime.
You were?
Yeah, I attended the Verado.
Nice guy.
He's a nice guy.
Good.
He's very
Good.
informative. His actually user group meeting was very nice. They did a good job.
I'm glad to hear that.
I mean,
I
what-
can't wait to meet him.
I mean, you're going to meet him in just a second. He's
I know.
joining us here.
I know. And you're gonna have to mic him up, Mike.
I'll mic him up. I got him this time. I won't make you run off camera again.
No, this has been so far. This is my first ViVE, so this has been quite the experience. I've told you that it always falls over my granddaughter's birthday.
I know. I hated to bring you across country.
There is
but
no way I'm giving up my grandbaby time,
I did
but
get
it's
you-
okay.
I got you on a
It's okay.
potential snow. Look at it that way.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And
All right,
now
everybody. Let Clay come
let's
join
have
us.
Clay join us.
Clay, come join us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clay, welcome to the set.
No pressure now. You're a nice guy.
But I did sleep at a Holiday Inn. Is that what I should say? How's it going, guys?
Come join
Great. How are
join
you?
us.
All right.
Let's tell our audience who we've got joining us today.
Yeah, hi everybody. This is Joe Hickey.
Joe Hickey,
Joe
is
Hickey,
our
not
Yes,
Clay
it's-
Ritchie.
it's
Well,
what's on our prompter here.
Yeah, I understand.
It's
I
all
understand.
right.
And we worked together in the focus group for Verado yesterday.
Yes, we had a
Yeah.
great focus group yesterday. So it was awesome to be able to sit down and hear about your solutions
Yeah.
that you're putting into on the streets. Tell everybody about Verado and what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Yeah. So again, hi everybody. I'm Joe Hickey. I'm the VP of the provider and HIE market. HIE being those all important health information exchanges. And my goal is to focus on helping healthcare organizations solve one of the biggest problems in healthcare, and that is identity.
All right.
And the fact that identity needs to be accurate, it needs to be reliable, and it needs to be available.
Mhm.
So we're really trying to elevate the discussions around that being a strategic asset and a strategic lever rather than a technical afterthought.
Very
yeah. Yeah. Well, patient identity, I would imagine that's got to be paramount to everybody because we hear about all of these instances where somebody's coming in and trying to take not just the financial data, but
Right.
now it's the health history, it's the personal data that I'm sure so many people, that's trusted information they shared with their provider. They don't want that blasted out across the ether.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I think it's something we all experience in our own healthcare personal
Right.
journeys.
Right.
Where when we show up, they don't really quite know maybe who we are, and we have to
Right.
repeat our story
Mhm.
or supply our own images or labs.
Right.
And so that's really a symptom of what's happened in healthcare over the past decade, when we have done so much and we've poured billions into EHRs and CRMs and data lakes,
Right.
all for the right reasons.
Right.
But it really just hasn't given us the clarity that
Mhm.
we've wanted. It's actually introduced a lot more complexity.
Okay.
So that's where Verado comes in and helps solve the problem of identity and really helping healthcare organizations understand who is who across the entire enterprise.
Okay.
It's not good enough to know just who is who maybe inside one system.
Mhm.
It really has to be that ecosystem and that layer that sits beneath your core systems of record, your systems of engagement, so that we can really make sure that healthcare becomes more personal the way it should be.
Right. And you took everybody through your landscape yesterday during our focus group of how you look at patient identity
Yeah.
versus how some of the other world looks at patient identity. Tell everybody what's unique about Verado and how you identify patients in organizations.
Yeah, typically when we work with healthcare organizations, there's millions of identity, right, Mike?
Right.
And what we're trying to do is help them solve the problem of a lot of redundant data and overlapping data, and we're trying to help them make sense of that. So what we do is we bring in something called patented referential matching, which is really an answer key for us to ensure at 98% accuracy that you are who you say you are. And downstream, what that's going to do is going to help every other department have the confidence that this is the same person that's in this system, and it's going to, that identity is going to follow through the entire ecosystem and in the entire enterprise,
Okay.
so that it can drive exceptional experiences It's going to help drive growth,
Mhm.
and it's going to really reduce a lot of the operational inefficiencies that become a burden for larger healthcare organizations.
So what does that look like? Because I always look at things with the clinician lens as a nurse by background. So I'm sitting and I'm taking care of a patient that's in front of me. How does Verado help support that? And from a nursing perspective, I always like to break it down into real tangible concepts.
Yeah, yeah, great question. You know, a lot of the time, any given care team member is going to have to potentially look at multiple systems to get
Yeah.
the whole story.
Yeah.
Right now, yes, they may be dependent about the clinical terms inside the EMR, but there's other systems that are contributing data that really make up that entire patient 360 that they
Right.
want to know about.
Right.
And so by delivering all of that into one record, we call it a link ID,
Okay.
that brings together all those contributing sources, even the ones that may not be living inside the EMR, so that you
Okay.
get that golden view of the
Okay.
patient. To take it a step further, we also serve that data up to specific business personas and functions,
All
the
right.
way they want to see it. A call center agent may want to see it
okay.
different than a care team
Right.
physician versus, you know, someone who working in billing
And
trying to
need
figure
to
out
see it
denied claim.
differently.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Wow.
one sheet and everybody shares it.
Right.
Yeah.
The way you need to see your sheet. And that was unique in the room yesterday.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Good.
The guys next door, we were all talking like, okay, so it's personalization of identity and information that you need,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
In the moment, right? And I'm
Yeah.
not having to wait on it because I've got to get it,
Yeah.
from this place, this place, this place. It's already put together for you.
Yeah, and you know what's exciting about Verado is that we're doing that both ways, if you will, right?
Yeah.
For the patient and the consumer,
Right.
but for the care team, for the nurses, for the PCPs.
Mhm.
You know, there's nothing more sacred than the bond between the patient and the physician.
Right.
And so they should be singing off the same sheet of data. And when that patient arrives, that physician also wants to know, okay, who's sitting in front of me? And I want to know everything about them.
Right.
And so, you know, with this approach, they get to be able to see that visually in real time.
And that's the craziest thing because 2 days before I arrived out here, I shot a shorter episode with the cyber company. And the afternoon before that, I received a letter in the mail from my provider that I had a breach
Oh, wow.
in October of 2024, and I was just receiving that letter.
Wow.
They did
2024.
2024.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
So if there's another Mike Mosquito running around, you may need to check that.
World can't handle that.
That can't handle that. But what they verified is that they had my name, my address, and my social security number. They said we know that they did get that information.
Wow.
And so, a year and a few months later, we're gonna let you know you might need to look at your
Yeah.
Yeah.
Equifax.
Yeah.
Like, right. I'm like,
Right.
it's been over a year. You
Yeah.
knew this happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now you just notified me via snail mail
Yeah.
that something occurred. They
Yeah.
did get this information out of your system.
Yeah. You know, I think that kind of is a good segue into trust.
Yes.
Trusting the data. And, you know, we're hearing a lot about interoperability and moving the data, but it is really important to, number one, first trust it, right? We're doing a good job, I think, in healthcare of moving the data around and getting it to the right places. It's just that it's overlapping data, it's redundant data, and a lot of the times it's data that people can't trust. I know in my own personal healthcare journey, when I receive something that's repetitive or inaccurate, oh, my trust erodes.
Yeah.
Right.
Very
It
quickly.
does. Absolutely.
Very quickly.
Yeah. Because I think at the end of the day, you're expecting that somebody's done their due diligence
Yes.
on the other side to ensure that you have the most current information.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And instead, we even ask for the same information over and over
do.
again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what gets you excited about what's coming up for Verado next?
Yeah, you know, I when you look at the landscape, we've been talking about consumerism for a long time
Yeah.
and the rise of consumerism in healthcare.
Mhm.
And we're talking about that because consumers are so used to having that personalization when it comes to their retail, their banking, their travel, leisure. Why wouldn't they come to expect it inside their healthcare journey? Arguably,
Well,
one of the
that
most
is a good
important
point.
journeys.
Yeah.
And so that dialogue is really starting to resonate with
Mhm.
healthcare executives, especially Mike, as you know, you mentioned it yesterday. You know, you're trying to reach out to 40 different states and
Right.
personalize care and personalize engagement. Well, it's really hard to do that if you don't first have that identity foundation, that master data management foundation that'll help you